Very good morning to all of you. Let me welcome you all for this social class. In this video, you are going to learn the book back exercises of the lesson, the Parliament. So now let's start the activity 1. Okay, the first question is, do you think there would be any difference in governance if the government is not elected by the people? So first understand the question. If the government is not elected by the people, okay, is there any difference? Okay, this is the question. So look at the answer. You know very well, if the government is not a democratic one, if the government is not elected by the people, surely there would be some difference. So the answer is yes. So what are the difference may be? The first one, the government, it may not answer the questions of the people properly. And second one, the government, it may not work for the betterment of the people. It may not work for the interest of the people. So this would be the differences. Okay, look at the answer. If all adult citizens of democratic country are not involved in the process of electing their representatives, then the government would be less likely to remain answerable to the people and may not always act in the best interest of the people. As I told you already, the same point. Okay, so let's move to the second activity. From the second activity, the first question, look at that. So who is an MLA? How is an MLA elected? You know very well. So the two people you have to know, one is the MPs and another one is the MLAs. Okay, the MLAs are the members of Legislative Assembly, and that people are elected directly by the people from their constituencies. Okay, as I told you already, constituency means Togudi. In Tamil we used to say Togudi. So look at the answer. An MLA is a member of the Legislative Assembly, whereas MPs are members of Parliament. Okay, MLAs are member of Legislative Assembly who is elected from a constituency by the people. Let us move to the next question. The next question is, why are representatives elected for the period of 5 years? So the answer you know very well. So no political party can hold the power, okay, permanently. Okay, so they have certain period of time, and if they want to continue again, it will be decided by the people only. So only by the people's interest, the same party or the same representatives can hold the power for another 5 years. Okay, so look at the answer. So look at that, representatives are elected for a fixed period of time so that no one party or a person can hold the power for a long period of time. In order to avoid the same person or the same political party ruling the government, we have a election for a 5 years once. Okay, so this is the answer. Let's move to the next question. The next question is, other than elections, what are the ways in which people can express their opinion about the actions and the decisions of the government? Okay, you know very well. So nowadays we have many ways to express our views to the government. Okay, the first one is media. Everybody, we are using the medias nowadays. Okay, with the help of the media. So either print media or electronic media, so we could express our views to the government, and by protest. Okay, you know very well, by involving some protest. And then the third one is strike. So these are all the ways we could express our views to the opinion and decisions of the government. Look at the next question. The next question is, which party do you think formed the government in 2014 and why? So look at the activity. So based on the information which is given in the tabular column, we have to write the answer. So in the year 2014, Bharatiya Janata Party got majority votes. Okay, got majority seats in the constituencies. So that's why the answer is PJP only. Look at the answer. Bharatiya Janata Party, short form is PJP. Okay, as it won the maximum number of seats with a clear majority. So look at the fifth question. The fifth question is, which party formed the government in 2009 and why? Okay, as per the tabular column, the answer is Indian National Congress. And one more thing you have to know in this answer, Indian National Congress, it got majority votes, majority seats in 2009, but anyhow it formed coalition government. You know very well, coalition government in Tamil, Kootani. Look at the answer. The Indian National Congress, as it won maximum number of seats, however it formed a coalition government. Now let me move to the sixth question. The sixth question is, what difference do you find in government formation between 2009 and 2014? Okay, the answer is, in 2009, Indian National Congress formed the coalition government due to a lack of clear majority, whereas in the year 2014, the Bharatiya Janata Party won by a majority. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, what difference do you find between Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha? Okay, you know very well. Vidhan Sabha is a legislative assembly, okay, state legislature, that comes under state legislature, okay, whereas Lok Sabha, you know very well, it's one of the house of the parliament, okay. Parliament is totally different from the state legislature. So now look at the answer. Vidhan Sabha is the legislative assembly of the state legislature, whereas Lok Sabha is the lower house of the parliament. And the next difference, so Lok Sabha is known as the house of the people, you know very well. Lok Sabha, lower house and house of people, so everything is the same only. So the number of members in the legislative assembly is more than 60 and less than 500, and the number of members in the Lok Sabha is 552. It's a fixed one, okay. So this is the major difference between state legislative assembly and Lok Sabha. Now let me move to the activity 3. Okay, so look at the first question. Which state has maximum number of reserved seats for SC community, which means scheduled caste? Okay, the answer is UP, Uttar Pradesh. Next one, maximum number of reserved seats for ST category. ST category means scheduled tribes. Okay, the answer is Madhya Pradesh. So look at the next question. So minimum number of reserved seats for the SC category. So in some states, for example, first one is Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Uttarakhand. Okay, let me move to the next question. On what basis have these reserved seats been allocated? Allocated means allotted. So generally you know very well, the seats are allotted based on the population of the area. So look at the answer and the basis of the population. So let me move to the last question. Why do you think there are no reserved seats for SC in Manipur, Meghalaya and Mizoram? Because the population of the SC is very low in the particular area. That is the reason. Look at that. The population of SC in these states is low. So now let's move to the book back question. The first one is fill in the blanks. Okay, look at the first question. Dash is the first hour of a sitting session of the parliament. You know very well, there are 3 sessions in the parliament. So every session starts with question hour. So the answer is question hour is the first hour of a sitting session of the parliament. Let me move to the second question. The total number of elected members in the Rajya Sabha is 223. So totally you know very well 235. Okay, in that 12 members are nominated by the president. So the peoples are elected in Rajya Sabha is 223. Move to the third question. The third question is Dash is the leader of the ruling party in Lok Sabha. Okay, the answer is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. The next one, a bill initiated in the Lok Sabha has to pass through Dash prior to the president approval before it becomes a law. You know very well. So usually the bill, okay, which starts from Lok Sabha, then it reaches Rajya Sabha and then it's sent to the approval of the president. So now the answer is a bill initiated in the Lok Sabha has to pass through the Rajya Sabha prior to the president's approval before it becomes a law. So now let's move to the true or false. Okay, look at the first one. The Parliament of India consists of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The answer is correct. So the answer is true. Next one. Opposition parties do not have any significant role in the Lok Sabha. The answer is false because opposition party they play a very important role in the Lok Sabha. So the answer is false. Let me move to the third question. Rajya Sabha members are not directly elected by the people. So the answer is correct because Rajya Sabha peoples are elected by the members of legislative assembly, not directly by the people. Let me move to the fourth question. Rajya Sabha has 12 members nominated by the president. Yeah, so the answer is correct. 223 people are elected by the people, okay, by the state legislative assembly, and 12 people are nominated by the president. We move to the fifth question. The fifth question is, women's reservation exists in parliament. Is there any reservation quota for women or not? This is the question, okay. The answer is women reservation exists in the parliament is the correct answer. Let's move to the next section, that is answer in short. So look at the first question. How did our national movement support the idea universal adult franchise? You know very well the idea of universal adult franchise, okay. So the universal adult franchise, which means every citizen in the country, especially every adult in the country, have the right to vote, okay. So if the adult in the country, they have the right to vote, that is universal adult franchise. Look at the first point. People from all sections of the society participated in the national movement. You know very well, when our India independence was started, at that time almost every people from different walks of life, different sections of the society, they have participated in the movement, and they have united for only one reason. Their ambition was only one, that was their independence from the British. So look at that, they were from various backgrounds and were united for their ambition of a free and independent nation. So everybody ambition was only one, as I told you already. So in that type of country, the power of the decision making would lie in the hands of the people. The power of decision making, it is not in the hands of only one people, it is in the hands of the entire people in the country, okay. So this aim could be fulfilled only through the election on the basis of the universal adult franchise. Such a type of objectives, okay, such a type of the objectives will be fulfilled only by this type of idea, especially universal adult franchise. So the second question is, how can you say our government is formed by the people? Okay, you know very well. So the government is formed by the people in the sense we only elect our representatives, that representatives only form the government, whether in the state government as well as in the central government, okay. So this is the answer for the question. Our government is formed by elected representatives directly elected by the people, because the Lok Sabha as well as state legislative assemblies, these two peoples are directly elected by the people, that two people only they form the government in the central as well as state. Look at that, hence the government is ultimately formed by the people. So now let me move to the third question. Who is eligible to form the government at the center? Center means central government, the national government, not in the state government, okay. Have know very well about this point, okay. The party which gets majority votes in the Lok Sabha election can form the central government, okay. The leader of the majority party become the prime minister. This is we know very well. Look at that. So at the Lok Sabha election, the political party has the majority of elected MPs, that is 272, is eligible to form the government at the center. You know very well, the basic requirement to be a ruling party is almost half of the Lok Sabha seat should be secured, okay. It must be secured by the party. For example, totally 543, okay, totally 543 seats are there. You know very well, the 2 seats are allotted for the Anglo-Indian already, but totally 545. So 543 are elected and 2 are nominated from the Anglo-Indian group, and in that the half in the sense 272 should be secured by the concerned party. So then it can form the government at center. Now let's move to the fourth question. The fourth question is, what is the coalition government? So you know very well the answer already. Sometime, okay, a single party, it cannot get the majority to form the government. So at the time, okay, at that time another countries they started to have their hands. They started to get their hands together, they started to join together, and then they form the government. But the only one thing is they should have some similar concerns, then only they can form the coalition government. So look at that. Sometimes it is difficult for a single party to get the majority which is required to form the government. Such a party then join hands with the different political parties that are interested in similar concerns to form the government. So last point is, this is known as the coalition government. Let us move to the next question. The next question is, how are the members of Rajya Sabha elected? So you know very well, totally 245 members are there. In that, 233 members are elected by the state legislative assemblies, and the remaining 12 peoples are nominated by the president. You know the answer already. Look at the first point. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. So not only from only one states, by the state legislative assemblies of various states. Okay. And the next point, there are 233 elected members along with 12 members nominated by the president. Now we are going to learn the long answer question. The first question is, how does the parliament control, guide and form the government? Okay, you know very well. So the parliament in the sense, not only the ruling party, opposition party as well as the ruling party, it forms the executives. Okay, so all together how it control, guide and form the government. Look at the first one. So following are several ways in which the parliament controls, guides and inform the government. The first one, the question hours. You know very well, every session starts with question hours. So the question hours is an important mechanism through which the MPs can ask for information about the working of the government. So the ruling party, they have to answer about their schemes, programs and plans, everything to the remaining MPs in the parliament. So which held in the question hour. So let me move to the next one. So this is an important way through which the parliament control the executives. You know very well, executives are a group of ministers. Okay, so they are formed from the ruling party. Okay, the head of the executive is the prime minister. Asking question to the executives. Okay, so we could control the government. So look at the next point. The next point is asking question about the government actions, decisions is a crucial task of every MP. You know very well, some group of peoples are the ruling party and the remaining peoples are the opposition, and their duty is to ask questions about the government actions and decisions. So this is their major task. Okay, this is the crucial means very important task for all the MPs in the parliament. The next one, the duty of the opposition party, you know very well, it highlights the drawbacks of the ruling party. Okay, and its programs and its functions, everything. Look at the second point, the opposition parties highlight the drawbacks in the various policies and the programs of the government. And the next one, you know very well, with the help of the feedback which is given by the other MPs, the ruling party and the executive, they can they can take the steps, everything in a very proper manner. So look at the third point, the government gets valuable feedback and it's kept on its toes by the questions posed by the MPs. So by raising the questions, it could correct its mistakes. Okay, the ruling party, the government, it could correct its mistakes with the help of the proper feedback which is given by the MPs. For the next point, additionally, in all matters dealing with the finances, the parliament approval is crucial for the government. So whenever the government which takes a decision on the finances, okay, the financial matters, the financial decisions, at that time, so the other group of people, other house of people, for example, other members in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha members as well as president, okay, their approval is very important. This way the parliament, it control, guides as well as it forms the government. So now let me move to the second question. The second question is our government accountable to the people? Why? So you know very well the word accountable, which means liable or responsible. The question is, why are government responsible to the people? And is our government responsible to the people? Look at the first point. We have a democratic government, which means the government is of the people, by the people and for the people, which makes it accountable to the people. Okay. So, the government, it should be liable to the people, because people only form the government, which means we elect the representatives, that representatives only form the government. Okay. So, that is why all the representatives, they should be accountable to the people, because we only select them or elect them. Next one, our government is accountable to the people as they are representatives of the people, as I told you already. So, we elect our representatives. Next point, for why the representatives, they have to be very liable to the people. The reason you know very well. So, every representatives in their power, they have some fixed period of time, for example 5 years. Okay. So, afterwards they have to face the people again to be voted in the next elections. Okay. Look at the situation, people elect them for a fixed period of time, and to get re-elected, the representatives have to face their voters against in the next election. So, there is no way, there is no chance, they have to be accountable to the people, they have to be very responsible to the people. Elected candidates are the representatives of the people. Okay. On behalf of the people, they have to ask the question to the government. Okay. They have to raise their voice for the people who selected them. Okay. Elected him or her. So, this is the major functions of the elected representatives. Look at that. In the parliament, the government also has to face and answer the questions about its policies raised by the representatives of the people. But the voice is. So, now let me move to the third question. The third question is, why do we have a reservation for SC and ST communities in the parliament? So, the answer we know very well. So, when our Indian constitution was framed, okay, our lawmakers, they realized that, so if we want to have the egalitarian government or egalitarian society, all the people should participate in the decision making process. So, that is why certain reservation has been allotted for the SC/ST people and the marginalized people. Okay. Look at the point now. We have reservation for SC/ST communities in the parliament, as the makers of the constitution realized that the representatives democracy cannot produce an egalitarian society unless the marginalized and underprivileged section of the society are not adequately represented in the decision making process. So, what is the meaning? In the decision making process, if the government is a democratic one, the decision making will be done by the people only. Okay. So, in the decision making process, everybody should participate equally. So, this is the point. So, that is why they have given some reservation for the SC/ST people, underprivileged, okay, and marginalized people. The next one, therefore, some seats are reserved in the parliament for the people belonging to the communities such as SC and ST, so that there is adequate representation of these historically marginalized group. So, look at the answer here. So, historically marginalized. So, from the long period of time, so these people, they were downtrodden only. Okay. So, in order to improve their life and in order to tell the problems of their lives, so some representatives, they should come from the community, from their community, right. So, they only could know. So, in order to raise voice on behalf of these people only, some peoples are selected as their representatives and they are sending to the parliament. So, there they could, the selected representatives, they could work for the betterment of the people, they could tell what is their actual problem in the parliament. So, this is the purpose of some reservations for SC and ST communities in the parliament. So, thank you so much. We will continue in the next class.